Hello, boys and girls, welcome back to the new episode of Football Unplanned. And today we have an interesting topic for you guys.
Yes, today we're gonna talk why one of the most populated country, which is India, haven't never played in a FIFA World Cup, but they played in some lower tiers tournaments and had their own successes there,
Yeah, and they had their own golden age and golden generation.
which was over 60 years ago, but still.
Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice.
So, let's start from the pre-independence era of Indian football.
That is right. Whole history of Indian football started in the late 30s, and well, football came there with, of course, the British.
Yeah, like with the colonization.
Colonization, yeah. Like Indians were playing all along with the British, and that's how they got the, football in their country. But the most important part started later, like year before Second World War, where they tried to play some true international games, but it's never been only international matches, because they were also playing with some like clubs, for example, with in Ceylon in 1933, but like later they got a very long tour in Australia in 1938, where they played their first FIFA recognized international match with Australia, which they lost.
Yeah, like I think it was 4-2.
4-2, yeah. And later they played with clubs and some teams connected with like regions of Australia, and their first match that they won was against Newcastle, and it's
But
not the club.
Alan Shearer one.
not that one. I guess that one they would probably lose, but they won with a city from New South Wales, the region of Australia. So basically this is how it all started, and later, after Second World War, they played first time in London's Olympics in 1948,
And it was against France.
and this was against France, and they against lost 1-2.
Yeah, what considering the France is like a very good team, it's
Always
let's say,
has
a
been.
promising start to their career.
Yeah, and soon after that, the golden age started for Indian football, and yet never have returned in any matter.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water.
And they had their first chance for glory in 1950, because the World Cup in Brazil was, well, in a very unfortunate timing. So it was like post World War II situations, and a lot of teams across the world decided not to participate, some from financial reasons and some because of political reasons.
Also that, yeah.
Yeah, because like from entire Eastern Europe, only Yugoslavia participated then.
Yeah.
For example, Scotland decided not to go because they came second in like the British qualifiers after England, and Africa didn't have any places like at that point still. But how India was able to participate in World Cup is because, well, the other three teams decided to withdraw from the competition. So Indonesia, Burma, which is today's Myanmar, and Philippines decided not to participate.
That is right.
And India wanted to prioritize Olympics probably because they had a previous appearance in 48 Olympics, but there was like a long-lasting like rumor that it was because of 1948 Summer Olympics. FIFA decided to ban playing barefoot.
Or just with the socks.
Yes. But later the captain of Indian team said that this wasn't correct.
Yeah, Salim Mana and rest of the team believed that World Cup, like FIFA World Cup, won't be as much prestigious as the Olympics, because before the 30s Olympics were kind of World Cup.
They were the king at that point.
Exactly.
But
Well, history turned
turned out differently. That now,
Different.
yeah. But maybe the biggest moment of Indian football came in 1956, and it was, once again, a tournament that was plagued with cancellations.
Mostly cancellations, like lots of teams just like withdraw of
Withdrew firstly
participation.
from qualifiers, and then some even withdrew from the main tournament.
Yeah.
So that kind of opened a path for India to make, almost a medal appearance, because they finished at 4th place.
Yeah.
So let's go back to qualifiers, as Asia was about to get 6 places. They were qualifying like head-to-head matches, but since one tie was between Iran and Afghanistan, who both withdrew, both India and Thailand, that were about to play each other from the spot, got automatic qualification to the Olympics.
Whole tournament in Melbourne in the Summer Olympics was also like very crazy, because like lots of the teams advanced to the quarterfinals because they didn't have a opponent, just like India.
Because they were supposed to play against Hungary,
yeah.
who didn't show up to the tournament because of the Soviet invasion.
Exactly. And then hosts Australians played with India, and that was their, I guess, first match. Actually, match played, not like being pushed forward because no one would like to play, and successfully India won 4-2 with even a fun fact. Neville de Souza being first Asian player to score a hat-trick, and it was during
Olympics, yes.
Yeah, during that match. And in the semi-finals they played with Yugoslavia, and yet again they got smacked.
That was a 4-1 defeat. I mean, probably nobody expected them to win that match, and then they still had one opportunity to grab a medal, because they were playing for the 3rd place against Bulgarians.
Yeah, but Bulgarians showed who's the boss here of the little final, as we are calling this third place match sometimes, and Bulgarians won 3-0 with Indians.
And another moment worth mentioning in the history of Indian national football was in the 60s.
Exactly. So we are moving forward from the 50s to the 60s, and in the 1964, Israel was a host of Asian Cup, like the biggest tournament of this continent, and it turned out to be the best appearance of India, because they finished second. But there's a catch because during qualifications lots of teams decided not to play even in the qualies or just in the tournament, not to take any part of this tournament because of politics and because of the hosts being, as we said, Israel. Yeah, so we had only 4 teams. It was the hosts, India, South Korea and Hong Kong, and that was the places, because Israel won this tournament, India was second, and South Korea took the 3rd place back then. And
because at that point South Korea didn't have Heung-min Son, or
it was 60 years before Heung-min Son.
Exactly, and 40 years before Park Ji-sung or some other great South Korean footballers.
Yeah.
And after this, there was a dark age of Indian football. So until 80s, they didn't even bother to participate in the qualifiers for either World Cup or Asian Cup. And actually, the first time they tried to qualify for one of the big tournaments was in '84 Asian Cup that was supposed to be held in Singapore. So India was a host nation of that qualifying tournament, and 2 teams from the group of 5 were about to qualify, and they managed to get 6 points and finish on the 2nd place behind South Korea. And they got their ticket to Asian Cup after a lot of waiting.
Yeah, lots of decades of waiting, but was it worth it? Because they only managed to get 1 point in their group, and it was after match with Iran, 0-0 draw. Rest of the matches they have lost, and they didn't even manage to score a goal. So a very similar appearance, just like last year, Asian Cup in Qatar.
Yeah, but we would think that this was the worst it can get, but no.
No,
It
it's
actually got way worse.
it
now.
is just the beginning of what's
Yes,
bad.
because after this appearance, they failed to qualify to Asian Cup until 2011 one.
Yeah, so in the 20th century, that was it.
And after that point, they didn't qualify for any of the big tournaments, like I said, until 2011. And even then, they didn't actually go through the qualifying groups, but
Yeah.
they got qualified for winning AFC Challenge Cup, where they won against Turkmenistan in the final. Tajikistan. Man, I know they played a lot of stands.
Stands, yeah, only stands in the groups, like.
Yeah, exactly. And but I like our face from the thumbnail, like, and probably like the best Indian footballer of all time, Sunil Chetri scored a hat-trick in that final.
Yeah, and he's still one of the top scorers in international football,
Only
along with
behind Ronaldo and Messi.
yeah, and Ali Day, I guess, also from
yeah,
Iran.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like we mentioned, back in the 60s there wasn't still Hugh Mixon in South Korea, but in 2011, oh yes, he was there.
There was Human Son.
and he managed to score against our today's episode's hero, India. And back again, India didn't manage to run the world, run the Asian Cup, because they also took last place in their group behind Australia, South Korea, like we said, and Bahrain.
Yeah, but this time at least they managed to score a few goals.
Yeah, with 3 goals scored, and 2 of them were scored by
Chetri.
By Chetri, best scorer of India, and still, as many believe, best football player of whole history of India.
So, before going in the talk of certain resurgence in Indian football, which started, well, a decade ago maybe or something, it all started with actual formation of a, well, let's say, higher level professional football league, when they managed to form their own Super League. And
We have Super League at home.
yeah, we have Super League at home. But yeah, this is like actual try of their federation to kind of fight with all the deficiencies that they had in the past. And the main factor of it is, well, football is the number one sport in India.
Yeah, never has been, actually.
Yeah, because they are mostly like focused on cricket and on field hockey, actually sports in which they're top tier.
Yeah,
And
we're
actually,
world champions, I guess, even.
yeah, and Olympic champions.
Yeah.
So when they formed the league, they went kind of the wrong way, because they wanted to sign big names that would be like have like prestige to the league, but some of them, like Roberto Carlos, were even like past their 40s
Exactly.
at this point, and they didn't give much on the field. So for example, Roberto Carlos played only like few matches for his team. Similar thing as like Robert Pires and Alessandro Del Piero and
Mutu.
Materazzi and
Materazzi,
Mutu, a lot of like high class players, but who were not even past their prime. They were like with one boot in the retirement at this point.
Exactly. I mean, they were trying to do something similar like China was doing, and now Qatar, Saudi Arabia, sorry. Like yeah, bring some prestige, bring some names.
I mean, Qatar is also doing that, to be honest, because
Yeah, like just bring the media, bring some attention of more people than just like people from your country.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it would also mean something because it can actually get a better start on actual coaching and youth development, which was always like behind the power curve in the India, and they will finally hopefully start to get some investments in like the grassroots football and like the youth academies, because I mean they have now even a team that is sponsored by the City Group. They have team in Mumbai. But yeah, actually we can see some movements that are again maybe by chance because well they managed to qualify for last two Asian Cups. I mean that competition similar as Euros has been expanded now.
Yeah, and
so
now
it's easier to qualify.
exactly, it's hard not to qualify actually.
Yeah, I mean that's similar as in Euros.
As in Euros, exactly. Yeah.
Me crying in Bosnia.
Oh, yeah, but their last appearance was, like I said, nothing special. They didn't even score a goal, and
In the last one, yes.
yeah. So we have a very big country that's
1.6 billion people.
right now, yeah, and you cannot find 11 just 11 playing at least nice football, like decent football still.
Yeah.
But all of these like investments like the Super League and the grassroots and all of that stuff is a long-term investment. It's not like in
Exactly.
volleyball or like in basket maybe or like in hockey that
Oh, trust me, it's not like that in basketball.
yeah, okay, so you actually need a lot of time and a lot of people would need to get like checked, trained, played actually, and
Yeah, like a selection, it takes like decades, literally, like at least like 20 years to actually see some results because we can look at the example of teams that have made like their strides actually, like Iceland, like Faroe Islands. Like they first invested into coaches, into equipment, like literally at the stadiums. So
Yeah.
they have something from there which they can build upon, and that's how it comes. I mean, some teams, like for now, for example, Indonesia, they're trying to go like the different route. So they're finding people like outside the continent that have Indonesian background. So because it's like a huge diaspora. But so that's actually also one of the chances that India has, because they are also very large diaspora in like Europe and in North America. So maybe there is someone with Indian heritage actually who knows how to play football, but just like the Football Federation isn't bothered to look for them. Okay, so we got off the topic a little bit, so let's actually wrap this up. And
yeah, what I else have to say about this whole history of Indian football, that even FIFA right now is trying to expand FIFA World Cup, and this new project about Club World Cup, let's just like mention it. We have this like new World Cup being held from Canada to Mexico, in whole North America, with 48 teams. Now we will see how it will turn out in just 2 years. From now, India is right now out of qualifications for that World Cup, and I was kinda sure that probably we will see maybe India right now, but I guess 48 teams isn't still enough places for
maybe 60.
maybe 60, maybe 70 something teams. Maybe in the future everyone will be playing World Cup, and maybe that will be their first entrance for the World Cup ever. But yeah, they made some investments, and yeah, even that we have saw Iceland and Trinidad and North Korea, and even Canada played 2 times, and they will play 3 times because they will be host. And yeah, maybe for India, a place for a World Cup will be somewhere in the future, because they will be maybe someday also hosting such tournament.
Yeah, that wouldn't actually surprise me because I mean,
Yeah, next World Cup will be in
FIFA
Morocco, Argentina, and Spain and Portugal. So like
it's very
imagine.
random.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the truth is that FIFA likes to try to popularize football across the globe, and I mean, which better place you have other than like maybe India and China, who are the biggest countries in the world, most populated countries in the world actually, and there's like a lot of potential viewership there.
Yeah, and just by ending this, whole South Asia is currently out. Maybe in 2030 we will see someone.
Yeah, I mean,
From
let's
them.
see how India will look until then, but until we actually see some greater results, we will have to like leave you with this.
Yeah, we just have to wait and keep our fingers crossed.
So yeah, guys, this was our episode on Indian football. Let us know what you think. If you like this, you can always like the video, you can subscribe to our channel, and now we are on our road to 100 subscribers, hopefully. And yeah,
Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.
I'm very sure that in next 10 years, India will be a superpower.